Major funding for Eden's Lost and Found is made possible by CDM, seeking to create lasting environmental and infrastructure solutions that strengthen a community's future. The Boeing Company, committed to ongoing innovation in environmental conservation. Boeing, forever new frontiers. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. Additional funding is provided by Rivers and Mountains Conservancy, the Illinois Sustainable Education Project, Ashoka, the Scotts Miracle-Gro Company, APTA, Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, the Philadelphia Water Department, LA County Public Works, LA City Department of Sanitation Watershed Management, FJC, and Newman's Own Organics.
A lot of people have the feeling that you can't change Los Angeles, that Los Angeles is always going to be a city where people passing through on the way to their imaginary golden dream. And but to me, I see it as home.
Los Angeles is a great meritocracy. You could come here from another city without the right religion, without the right family background, and if you've got what it takes, you're accepted here. And that is not true in a lot of other places in America or elsewhere in the world.
But this city is probably one of the more altered ecosystems on Earth. It's been managed for over 100 years as if it was a slab of concrete. And as a result of that, because of the size population we have and the amount of resources we have to bring here, Los Angeles is probably one of the largest contributors to pollution and planetary destruction on the planet.
It's a Faustian choice to say that, you know, the economy or the environment, they're linked in the 21st century.
I'm a Los Angeleno. We are optimistic. The pobladores came here in the 1700s, 14 families, I believe, from Mexico. After 3 days, there was an earthquake. They didn't move, and I'm not moving either.
We are tomorrow, but we start today.
Tonight on Eden's Lost and Found, Los Angeles, dream a different city.
Like many Angelenos, I wasn't born here. I chose Los Angeles. My heart may be in Brooklyn, but my dreams, they live here. Sure, I can recite the litany of reasons why LA is a tough place to live. Earthquakes, smog, droughts, floods, fires, and the gridlock that links hundreds of miles of urban sprawl. Yet, laughing in the face of these adversities, or perhaps surfing over them, Los Angeles reigns throughout the imagination of the world as not so much a place, but a culture. A laid-back, casual lifestyle where anyone can succeed beyond their wildest dreams. It is this illusion of Eden that drew 15 million of us in search of our own individual piece of paradise. And in the wake of this continuous, rapid expansion is a myriad of serious environmental and social problems that make living here anything but perfect. But you all know that. What you may not be aware of are the growing efforts to reverse these negative forces. All around Southern California, remarkable men and women are dreaming a different city.
Like Lewis and Clark or Peanut Butter and Jelly, you can't picture LA without smog. In the 1970s, Stage 1 smog alerts, in which residents were warned to avoid the outdoors, averaged over 100 days a year, mostly in the summer when children were out of school. Thinking to preserve their son's health, every year Lee and Joyce Lipkiss sent young Andy to a summer camp in the nearby San Bernardino Mountains. Andy loved the forest and was quick to notice many pine trees were dead or dying. Andy was told that the smog creeping up from the Los Angeles basin was weakening the trees. The entire forest would be dead in 30 years. When Andy asked what he and his campers could do to save these majestic pines, he was told,
There's nothing that you do is going to count. Wait till you grow up and go to college, get a job, and then maybe you'll make a difference in the world. And it was pretty frustrating to look at what was obviously a polluted, hurting planet, and to hear those messages that you don't count, there's nothing for you to do, just have fun.
never tell a child he can't do something, because he might just prove you wrong.
When I started, I was 15, and all I knew was that I wanted to get more kids to the mountains planting trees. There was something so powerful in that, my first summer of planting.
Andy and the campers ignored the adult cynics. They planted smog-resistant species of cedar and pine in a dead part of the forest. Life returned and flourished.
To transform that piece of land like we did in a few weeks gave me such strength. I went, you know, I got to get more kids to taste that.
So began Andy's lifelong crusade to not only save the local forests, but to use urban forestry to save the city of Los Angeles as well. Today, over 35 years later, no one wears the badge of tree hugger more proudly than Andy Lipkiss.
Trees are amazing sustainability machines. They capture water right in their branches and then slowly put it down into the ground and restore it into the water table. They prevent floods. They treat pollution and filter it out of the water. They save energy. They produce oxygen. Trees do all this incredible work that we need. They're like our partners for life and for sustainability.
By 1973, 18-year-old Andy founded the nonprofit organization he called Tree People.
I was a kid then, and kids responded. They gave 50 cents or 35 cents for their milk. Instead of drinking milk at school that day, they sent it to Tree People, and that got us launched.
Andy learned at an early age to use the media to promote environmental causes.
Is that a Coast redwood seedling?
The largest and oldest tree in the world.
Yeah. And this is going to be a redwood?
It's already a redwood.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I can't drive my car through it, Andy. I mean, that's...
Well, wait. The hole is down.
The little hole you can drive, a little teeny car can go through.
What began as a handful of teenage campers now encompasses millions of young people and adults who volunteer their time and raise money to restore Los Angeles through urban and community forestry. The atmosphere at Tree People's 45-acre complex resembles that of a campground, a retreat in the middle of urban sprawl.
It's really amazing to want to wake up in the morning and look forward to going to work and be proud of what you do when you go out and people ask you what you do. I'm changing the world with Andy. That's something that I'm really, really excited about.
The staff works in yurts, round tent-like cabins based on a 2,500-year-old Mongolian design. Their nursery helps supply trees for their planting. Their new multi-use center is a gathering place where environmental experts from around the world can meet and exchange views.
It's a place to bring kids and families and agencies and communities to learn and to work together to take the information back into their own neighborhoods and begin to do the healing work. Getting everyone to work together needs special facilities. We're here with volunteers, with training, with trucks, with tools, with insurance, because to make this happen takes action. To get the concrete and the asphalt out of the ground and get trees back in, to get those trees cared for, requires support. And that's really right at the core of Tree People, to help back up communities in seeing their dream come true.
Here, neighbors seek Andy's advice on how to protect undeveloped land from real estate speculation.
We really felt that if we didn't do something now, we'd never be able to live with ourselves if we didn't at least try to do everything we could do to save this land. I think that's what finally got us off of our couches.
First of all, I think you've got a great dream, and I think it's one that's achievable probably pretty easily, is to define every one of the services that this wild open space is providing for the city.
Although urban forestry continues to be an important focus at Tree People, the organization has expanded its horizon. Andy uses demonstration projects to prove the viability and multi-purpose benefits of capturing and storing stormwater to increase the county's water supply while decreasing urban flooding and the amount of pollution channeled into the sea.
The northeast San Fernando Valley is an area of Los Angeles city and county that has been plagued by floods. Intersections flood, cars get into accidents, kids can't go to school because they can't cross the streets. It's a vortex taking the community down. So of course they've been clamoring in the northeast valley for stormwater control for decades.
This entire area floods because there's no storm drains. There were creeks here. When the roads were put in, the roads become creeks and rivers when it rains. Water from the whole surrounding neighborhood flows right here into the park. In heavy rains, it becomes like a river and then a huge flooded lake. What we're going to be doing here is picking up the water, contaminated water from the surrounding streets and neighborhoods, and right here under the ground, filtering it, cleaning it so it's as clean as rainfall. That water will then be sent downstream, follow me here, into a whole special area underground where we'll be taking the water, putting it back to recharge the aquifer. We're transforming this park from a net water user to a water supplier. We're also making this part of the city's flood control facility and stormwater cleaning facilities, integrating all these different streams right here and putting beautiful recreation on top.
If it works, it will revolutionize the way we do flood control, not only in Los Angeles, but I think any place in the world.
There's a special magic that happens when people see change happen as a result of their dream. They see that there's a place in this city for their dream to begin to reshape this city. I could never stop doing this work.
Andy Lipkiss is a living example that one person can make a difference, especially if he ignites the enthusiasm and passion of those around him.
So that's why we're focusing on doing it right.
Thanks to California's tough emission standards, since the 1970s, air pollution has been cut in half, even though there are currently 4 times as many cars.
This brings us to another serious problem: transportation. Shortly after World War II, Los Angeles abandoned a by then archaic rail and trolley system called the red cars in favor of the automobile. 60 years later, that love affair is souring as clogged freeways and spiraling gas prices make it increasingly difficult to get from one place to another. Transportation expert Darrell Clark is currently leading a campaign to rethink Southern California's public rail transportation.
Smooth, comfortable, fast. We're not fighting traffic. It's all about quality of life. So much about driving in Los Angeles. Well, how bad is the traffic going to be? It's gotten to be there's so many places you just don't go there because you know the traffic is going to be that terrible.
Because all the freeways are very crowded, and I find it a lot easier and more comfortable to get around on the trains.
I like the train, I really do. I enjoy it, and my great-granddaughter is going to enjoy it too, you know? Because now she enjoy it. It's Mr. Rogers' train, woo-woo, right?
This is the Holly Street Apartments, which was actually built before the light rail line was built. And the whole idea is you can live here, you can ride the train to downtown Los Angeles, you're within a couple of blocks, you can walk to Old Town Pasadena for dinner, you're a couple blocks from where they rebuilt the old indoor mall into a nice outdoor new urbanist thing. It's just all about that kind of quality of life in downtown Pasadena where you don't need a car to do everything.
In Santa Monica, a group lobbies for a new light rail line.
Well, Friends for Expo is an all-volunteer organization that is charged with building light rail on the Exposition right-of-way between downtown Los Angeles and the beach of Santa Monica.
We're here on the Exposition right-of-way, owned by the MTA since 1990. Goes from downtown Los Angeles out to Santa Monica. It's originally built for a railroad to Santa Monica in 1875, and now it gives us this great opportunity.
Despite already owning the right-of-way, this much-needed transit line continues to be bogged down in 21 years of red tape and struggle.
Best case, according to the MTA, would be to have the first half running as of 2010. Worst case, 2015, which is, considering 1989 even to 2010, well, let's see, 21 years is a long time to wait for half a light rail line. A lot of times I had the feeling of getting knocked down, picking myself up, dusting myself off. I've put too much into this to stop now. I just have to keep going and keep trying.
We're all volunteer organization. We have no money. As you may have seen, we pass a hat for donations.
But you keep trying because it matters too much not to. And we need Exposition to Santa Monica. That's just one step. We really need to come up with a network that works so more and more people can have an alternative to being stuck on that freeway.
One could be born, one could go to the hospital, one could go to elementary school, one could get a bachelor's degree in the finest institutions in America, all along this line. It is a ladder for upward mobility along this line. It is just not transportation from east to west. It is a ladder for upward mobility, and that's why I'm here, to help build that ladder.
It's Mr. Rogers Train. Woo woo! Right?
Flowing unnoticed is the Los Angeles River, an often forgotten remnant of the city's wild and sometimes violent past. Many Angelenos have no idea that their city was built next to and took its name from what was once a wild and impetuous river. A mere trickle in the summer, during the winter rainy season, the Los Angeles River was prone to unpredictable and catastrophic flooding. These floods claimed hundreds of lives. In 1913, William Mulholland's 250-mile aqueduct opened the door to channelizing the river into the cement ditch it is today, that traverses 58 miles through the city to the sea.
With the 100 million gallons of water a day running to the ocean, it's one of the West Coast's largest rivers, and yet it's invisible to people.
Like wild animals in the zoo, the river was caged to protect the lives of the people.
It's actually an engineering marvel. However, there isn't much wildlife here. It has a single purpose with flood control. Other elements like recreation, habitat, wildlife aren't here, and they used to be here in the olden days.
It took a generation or two for a few citizens to realize that in winning this victory against nature, something had been lost. Among them was environmentalist Lewis McAdams.
Friends of the Los Angeles River began as a performance piece at a theater in downtown called the Wallen Boyd Theater, and it consisted of me dressing up in a white suit a la William Mulholland and painting my body green, and telling the story of my, as William Mulholland's, involvement with the river. And then the last part of it was building a totem to the Los Angeles River on the stage. And everybody hated it. And the LA Times said, with friends like Lewis McAdams, the Los Angeles River doesn't need any more enemies.
When Friends of the LA River got started in 1984, people mostly thought of the LA River as a joke.
I even had colleagues tell me in Congress, they would laugh at me saying, why are you introducing legislation to restore a river that's cemented? And I said, no, that's the whole point, because you don't know what I know, that there's still a whole other life of natural habitat and environment that is still beautiful.
Here, members of the local Korean community unite with Friends of the Los Angeles River to help gather garbage that might otherwise be jettisoned into the ocean during the winter rainy season.
I come to right the wrongs so that people's wrongdoings, such as littering, will be forgiven, so that the river will be cherished again.
I mean, it's a way not only of restoring a river for the two-leggeds, the four-leggeds, the flying ones, the swimming ones, etc., but it's also a way of casting your vote for the future.
We learned about the LA River in school.
You did?
Yes.
What about it?
Fourth grader Emily Hagan and her family are neighbors to the river. To Emily, it is a source of inspiration.
I think Mother Nature has given all this to us, and look how we're treating it. We're treating it like it's not even there. I'll tell them about how people were mean to the river, and now they're trying to be nice to it.
In the Studio City neighborhood of the San Fernando Valley, citizens gather with community leaders to dedicate the Los Angeles River Greenway.
We're going to have a place in which people can congregate. Families can bring their children, ride their bikes without fear of getting run over, and literally hear the water flow through the city.
By the special leadership of the visionary Ed Reyes, we are reclaiming this river. And people like Melody Winter, give Melody another hand, because we wrestle a lot, Melody.
Another leader in the battle to restore and appreciate the Los Angeles River is Melanie Winter.
I was born on the river, in Burbank, hospital right there. So I've been aware of the river my whole life. Recognizing that the river is the reason Los Angeles is here, appreciating our natural heritage in terms of our native plants, our native landscape. And I got very excited about that. It's nothing like anything I've ever done in my life. It just hit me, and I've been possessed. with it ever since. I can't really explain it any better than that, and I don't know if that helps. It's so much about, even for the next 10, 15 years, it's so much about education and a learning curve for everybody. But what keeps me excited is working with communities, and in particular working with the young. Man, I love fourth graders. They're just at that age where they get it and they can give you incredible ideas. Gosh, you guys are going to be the ones that are going to make that happen. Most of your parents and older people don't know that.
That is why it's important for the next generation to share a commitment to what their elders have started.
This is what LA is. This is why they touted it as Eden.
In a city of dreamers, the plans for the future liberation of this concrete giant are also big.
This might be a lake. We might put an inflatable dam further downstream. We might put terraces along the side with water fountains, with water going through wetland planters that help clean the water. There'll be bike paths. There'll be overlooks. There'll be wildlife areas where it's unlined, and we have bird watchers seeing some of the 400 species of birds that visit LA River.
And my real dream is that I'll get to commute to work on the Los Angeles River, but not in a car, in a canoe or a kayak. And swimming right beside me will be the return of the steelhead who used to live here.
I just think it will be beautiful, more beautiful than it is now. He planted trees and took off the river's cement jacket. The love made it clean again. The river laughed, laughed with glee, while fish danced a tango beneath the happy river. The sun shone over the happiness, and birds came back and said to me, I love it here because of the river, the river, the river of glee.
Not since perhaps ancient Rome has one city had so much influence on the culture and collective consciousness of the world. As the largest manufacturer of motion pictures and television, Los Angeles spreads its trend-setting vision throughout the planet. The familiar faces that appear in our living rooms and theaters are often better known to us than the neighbors next door. For such is the power of Hollywood that we would prefer the company of fictional characters than real people. Thus, it is no surprise that the personal, political, and ethical views of actors extend into important issues outside their original field of expertise.
Just to be clear about my transportation hierarchy, my number one favorite way to get around is the way my friend Melanie Winter and I do in our neighborhood, which is to walk.
Perhaps the best-known prophet in Los Angeles of the green, environmentally sustainable lifestyle is actor Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah, I moved back to try to fix LA. Rather arrogant of me, I thought, you know, I got involved. I sought out the notion of sustainability. Sometimes that word bothers me. I'm not sure I want to have a sustainable marriage. I want something that's more exciting than that.
Son of the Academy Award-winning character actor Ed Begley, Ed inherited more than acting skills.
That's something I got from my father. He was a conservative Republican, and though I am not, he was a great man. He was a conservative who liked to conserve. The biggest gift he gave me in that general realm was that he said, Eddie, don't ever tell people what you're going to do. Tell them what you've done. You want to get yourself an electric car? Well, go find one and get one. You want to put solar panels on your roof? Go get some solar panels. Don't put them up. Oh, I'm going to do that one day. Go do it. I bought my first electric car in 1970. I started recycling in 1970. I started buying all biodegradable soaps and detergents. And, you know, I got involved. I sought out the notion of sustainability back then. And it's worked pretty good the past 35 years.
In the past, Ed's views branded him as an eccentric, and he was sometimes ridiculed.
I gave people the creeps, you know, because they just weren't sure about all this. They said it's costing you. People think you're a wingnut, and people think you're a moonbeam, and, you know, electric cars. People don't want to hear about that. That's all stopped now. I go on a set now, and people are better at recycling than I am sometimes. They have all sorts of bins set up, and they're way ahead of me. They don't need any help from me.
Ed practices what he preaches.
Renewable energy is powering these lights right here. It's running this house. It's charging my electric car. I know it's possible. That's the great thing about solar. You can't make gasoline on the roof of your house, but you can make electrons.
Ed is proud to show off his modest home so that others might learn from his example.
My fence out there, it's all recycled plastic. Well, I never have to paint a fence again the rest of my life, and no termites will ever eat it. All this stuff was good for the environment, but it was also good for my pocketbook. It had either a 6-month payback, or the longest payback would be like 8 years for a lot of these things I'm talking about. So that's a pretty good deal when you're in it for the long run, which I am, aren't you? We should have an artichoke for dinner, so let's take an artichoke here.
A vegetarian, Ed has turned his backyard into a water-efficient source of food.
What I tried to do is to fill every square foot with as much edible foliage as I could, and then the rest is all drought tolerant, so it doesn't really need any maintenance or water to speak of. Let's put all this in the compost.
Nothing goes to waste in the Begley residence. All life is revered.
This is when you know you're doing a good job, Hayden. Look at this. What do we got here?
Wormies.
Little wormies.
Daddy, could I?
That dirt is, yeah, don't hurt them. They're doing a good job for us.
All these things I did are very cost effective. Taking public transportation, riding my bike to and from work, to and from errands, putting a backpack on and getting that half dozen bananas or a loaf of bread. You know, it was good exercise. I realized then, hey, I didn't have to pay for a gym. The world was my gym. All this stuff that I did was so good for the environment, but it was also so good for my pocketbook. It's not like I have a vast amount of money now. I'm not a millionaire. I never have been a millionaire, but I don't need a lot of money.
It's an artichoke. It may have choked Artie, but it ain't gonna choke Eddie.
That's so funny.
Ed is quick to poke fun at himself to promote the cause of sustainable living.
And I'll only say, yes, I did come on my bicycle. Thank you for mentioning that. That's why I came with my goofy shorts and my even goofier legs.
Today, the voice crying in the wilderness is no longer ridiculed, but recognized as an important leader in the environmental movement.
The environment is not just in Yosemite or Yellowstone. It's up here at Coldwater and Mulholland. It's at Compton Slauson Park there, the beautiful Augustus B. Hawkins Park. It's in all the cities that you come from. It's in urban settings. That's part of the environment too. And if we can save Los Angeles, Yosemite's gonna be just fine.
In his simple, quiet plan to live out his beliefs, Ed Begley Jr. is more than a successful character actor. He is also a man of character.
I think we really can make a difference. We just have to set about this long journey and put one foot in front of the other. You know, you don't do it overnight. You don't run up Mount Everest. You put one foot in front of the other and you make the climb. If we continue on that path, I think we'll have a bright future.
That's the line to cut out on.
When LA was started, nature was always at the end of the block. And you look at old aerial pictures of Los Angeles, there's wild open space just outside of where you are, and that's all gone.
It's sort of like a horizontal New York. Instead of everything going up, it all goes out.
Los Angeles isn't one place, but many. Unlike traditional cities that developed around a central manufacturing hub, LA's economy is linked to shrewdly marketed real estate tracts. As these scattered communities expanded, they eventually merged into a giant, sprawling megalopolis.
It's hard to change once everything's built. The city is beset by an incredible affordable housing crisis. You don't tear down houses to build a park here. Many of the open areas in town are brownfields and require a lot of cleanup because they're contaminated. And I think one of the challenges that we face is how to restore greater ecosystem value to metropolitan regions.
Californians in particular invent the future. And so we need our current crop of Californians to do what perhaps our forefathers in the 50s and 60s could not, and that is to see 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the future and invent a better future.
For 30 years, Stella Beltran has worked at Scherpser Elementary School in the impoverished industrial area of El Monte.
When you don't have a job, when you have a baby every year, when your husband beats you, and you don't have any faith that things are going to be better, you're broken. And if you can help broken pieces of human beings become whole and healthy, you did something. It's good.
Known among the students as abuelita or grandmother, Stella has devoted her life to saving children.
I was given the children that posed problems to some of the teachers or to the cafeteria, and I take them out. I'd always bring them walking out here. They matter so much because they're human beings, because they are the tomorrow of this nation.
The battle has been a hard one, and the losses high.
In the 30 years, I have counted how many children I saw being killed because of the drugs, because of the fights with the gangs. There were 17 boys that have been killed in this school. I remember each one of them when they first started. One boy was here from kindergarten, and he was killed when he was 14 years old, right here in the railroad tracks.
Tiny Stella has a big plan. She hopes to rally forces to turn an empty 4-acre industrial lot into Gibson Neighborhood Park.
And I said, see, maybe someday we'll have a Boys and Girls Club here where you can come and play and learn something and make teams and have fun. Oh, Miss Beltran, they say that nobody does anything for us. We don't mean anything. Why would this land be for us? And I said, you dream big.
Everyone is quick to tell her why it can't be done.
They said, no, who's going to buy it? It's expensive. You know, oh, they're going to put apartments here. You can't crowd the school anymore. The traffic, where are you going to put the traffic?
But Stella won't give up.
So why do I care this much? Because I identify it that this is my one chance to do what I've always wanted to do, something that was worthwhile.
In March of 2005, the Trust for Public Land, together with the city of El Monte, bought the 4 acres for Gibson Neighborhood Park. Stella is not interested in hiring a big landscape architectural firm to design this park. No, she has a different group of experts in mind.
What are we going to have on this park here?
A pool
But we
over
want some
there.
trees,
A wrestling arena over there.
A wrestling arena over there.
Oh, yeah, wrestling.
Swings are going to be over there?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
And the restrooms could be over there.
A fountain with flowers?
Yeah, water fountains.
Water fountain? Where's the baby's little pool where we're going to?
The waiting pool.
The waiting pool. Where's the waiting pool going to be?
Over there. All right. There should be 2 pools.
Stella and her students are now working with the city to raise the additional funds to transform the lot into a park. Dreams are cheap, but parks are not. An additional $1 million is needed before groundbreaking.
But tell me what you want.
Yeah. No hobos.
A pool? No hobos?
No guainitos.
No guainitos. And park rangers. No gangsters, no drugs. The park to be clean. Who's going to keep it clean?
The park rangers.
No, we're going to keep it clean.
Today there's a movement to keep LA sustainable by revitalizing and promoting local pride within our communities. For these unique neighborhoods reflect the true soul of our city.
Tangerine, she is on the claim, with her eyes bright, lips as bright as flame.
Avocados, breakfast of Aztecs and Mayans alike.
A growing phenomenon, not only in Los Angeles, but the entire country, is the sprouting of farmers' markets.
Organic avocados.
Farmers' markets help keep dollars within the local economy, as well as stimulating more healthy eating habits.
All of the products that are sold at the farmers markets have to be grown by the folks that sell it here.
We've had the farm since 1988. Myself, my wife, Bettina, and my 2 children, Anna and Josh.
I like it because you're buying directly from the people who grow the food, which I think is nice. Doesn't go through distributors. The food's fresh.
They can actually try it right there. They can ask how it's grown. A lot of people are concerned with organic fruit and vegetables these days. We can tell them what exact fertilizers we use, what if we use pesticides or not.
We have to put out the absolute best product we can, because we have to see the faces of those folks every week. And if it's not perfect, they're certainly going to let us know.
Everything is good today, believe me.
When I come here, it's also my social point, too, because this is where I've made wonderful friendships. I spend time with people that come to the farmers market outside the market. I have dinner with them. They come and visit my farm.
Avocados, baby. Oh, and she likes avocados.
Most kids in the cities think that food comes from the grocery store. They have no concept of where it was prior to that.
In this almost European atmosphere, fresh food is celebrated.
I'm from France, and I live here since 5 years ago. And I'm very happy to come every Sunday in this market because we got a lot of choice about organic food and organic vegetable and fruit.
The quality. It's pretty much, the best strawberry out there you can buy.
There's times, I don't want to do this any longer. And when a customer comes by or a person who's been eating my produce, compliments me, it just keeps me going. If I lived in LA, this is where I would have some. Aguacate, alligator pears, you name it, we've got it.
50 miles north in the community of Oxnard, an area already encroached by the long fingers of urban sprawl, stand the fields that produce these luscious berries.
I believe that I live in an Eden-like place. I believe that the farm is the most wonderful place to be. It's like being on vacation every day. You wake up in the morning, you hear the birds. You go to sleep at night, you hear the crickets.
Started in the late 1960s by Harry Iwamoto, this 35-acre family-run farm annually grows about 700 tons of strawberries, all of which are sold at farmers' markets.
He loves to do the things I hate to do, and I do the things he hates to do, so it works out great.
I'm the payroll and payable departments, and he doesn't he doesn't even have a computer.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved in that stuff. Come on, Lucy. Come on. I'm really fortunate. I enjoy every day. Beats doing what I used to do. I used to work for a beer delivery company years ago, and this beats it.
We also have non-family members working for us that are friends. This guy Caesar here driving I went to high school with him. I've known his wife since I was in the 6th grade.
I hate to be a pessimist, but it's going to be a short future as far as I'm concerned for farmers like myself, because it's just, if you don't love what you're doing, there's really not as much money in it as you might think. But I do it more because I really enjoy my livelihood than anything. But as far as my son taking it over or any of my daughters, they're going to have to really love what they're doing in order to, continue the business.
Even more difficult is the work in the fields. Paid by the crate, time is literally money to the migrant farm worker. Almost half of the people in Southern California are of Hispanic descent. Their collective and individual contributions to the vitality of the city's past and future are immeasurable. Another neighborhood struggling to establish its own unique identity is Boyle Heights.
It was the Ellis Island of Los Angeles. It was the place where the Jews and Latinos and Asians and African Americans all lived side by side. It was a place of hopes and dreams. By the late 50s and 60s, when I was growing up in Los Angeles, it lost some of its luster, if you will. A lot of the homeowners began to move out, but still an area of vibrancy in the sense that there were a lot of new Americans coming with their hopes and dreams, wanting to make it.
Welcome to the big city, homie, of Los Angeles, in the big city.
Keeping Latino youth in school remains a critical problem. With around 40 different gangs in Boyle Heights alone, these pandillas exert heavy negative peer pressure towards youth who aspire to get an education. Consequently, 61% of the Latino children in the Los Angeles Unified School District drop out.
In Boyle Heights, we have a lot of percentage of dropout rates in high school, just in high school. So not a lot of, young Latina women get to even get a higher education.
It's harder for us to have positive role models.
So welcome to the big city, homie, of Los Angeles, in the big city of Los Angeles.
And yet, like flowers sprouting through cracks in concrete, a group of young women are intent on restoring and rekindling pride in their Boyle Heights community.
Just want to help people. I just have that heart that I just gotta help. I don't want money, I don't want anything. I just want to be able to be happy, surrounded by people that I love. Sí les interesa mucho porque
15-year-old Giovanna Cordero credits her parents as her source of inspiration.
you have to have a dream in order to have success, and that's what my parents have taught me. That no matter if I live in a community that doesn't have a lot of resources, I could still accomplish what I want. Buenos días, señora.
Born and raised in South Central, coming from immigrant parents, we always had plants in the backyard. Whatever bit of land we had, we always grew something. Because we live in cities, they've been getting smaller and smaller in people's minds. We want to bring that back.
My neighborhood is really important because it keeps me humble. Oh, it just reminds me of who I am. And we're there.
In 1996, an informal group of young Latina women saw a need for positive female role models in their community. Among them was then teenager Michelle Dean.
You know, honestly, it was with a group of friends. We didn't know what we were doing other than just hanging out with some of the girls here in the community, doing exercises, you know, and say, hey, let's do some leadership exercises.
Flavor some.
This was peer pressure of a positive sort, as girls nurtured each other to excel and achieve.
And I so fell in love. I mean, it started as a volunteering thing for like 3 years, and then I'm like, you know, let's do this for real. You know, I was just got a little nervous, like, yeah.
What started as a simple exercise became a life-transforming experience. This Latina Girl Network began to call upon outside resources to better themselves and each other. Those who achieved personal success returned to help the younger girls. And so a movement was born and continues to thrive. Who are these young women? Well, they are proud to tell you.
Girls today, women tomorrow. We're a leadership mentoring program. We're called Girls Today, Women Tomorrow. We're based out of Boyle Heights. We work with young girls from the ages of 12 to 22.
An important project nurtured by these young women is that of developing a community garden in Boyle Heights called Proyecto Jardín. They use their work in this garden to foster healthier eating habits and to embrace their Hispanic traditions.
You ask a youth how do carrots grow and they think it's from a tree. And having them plant here and have time just for themselves, away from school, away from their parents, it's been really refreshing for them.
I feel what's so unique about this garden is that it's really about the community and really about getting people out here to know that this is their space to use. I mean, you can see the corn over there. We're going to be having a wide variety of heirloom tomato varieties, all different kinds of chili peppers. We have some seeds coming from Mexico, and we're going to be having all spectrums of phytonutrients and things like that that are good for our bodies and good for the planet.
It's more about rekindling what we already have within us. It really is part of who we are and what our grandmas and great-grandmas knew. So it's kind of rekindling that within all of us.
Each fall, the women gather together to reap the benefits of their labors in the annual harvest celebration.
We eat the harvest.
Mexican chile is hot.
I guess the part that's the greatest is that we helped grow it. That's the most exciting part.
Among the organization's many activities are video production, website development, kickboxing classes, team-building camping retreats, an annual fashion show in which the women design and make their own fashions, and a very important college scholarship fund.
The Girls Today and Tomorrow program actually had a lot to do with me going to the college I'm going to. I'm going to an out-of-state college, to University of Wisconsin in Madison. And they nominated me for a scholarship in which I received 4-year tuition scholarship.
I only live with my mom. There wasn't enough money, so I always thought that I wouldn't have a future. So now that I have a positive role models, now I'm going to college and I'm being positive by thinking that I'm going to be someone in life.
We found that once they felt like somebody was investing in them, they in turn started doing it for their friends, the younger kids growing up. Something in their consciousness started shifting, and it was just amazing.
I started when I was in high school, and I'm finishing my second year at Santa Monica College. and I'm also a mentee in the process of being also a mentor.
Despite these achievements, drive-by shootings and the frustration of living in fear remain part of the Boyle Heights landscape.
Because I want other children to be happy, and I don't want them to be sad, and I don't.
Those are the people that really make a difference in the world. I mean, a global community that works, especially when these kids get older. You get to see where they're at and what they're doing.
There's so many things that I want to do when I grow up, but like my main goals are to hold public office, hopefully to be the next president. Well, we'll see, but I would like to first hold public office in a community, in my community, congresswoman or whatever, to make government not too distant, but to be closer to the community, and so people won't be afraid to go out and speak out, and I think I'll be a good representative. It's a great country for me, so I think I'll make a great leader.
It's a long road from Boyle Heights to the White House, but Giovanna doesn't have to look far for inspiration on her journey. In the northeast area of Los Angeles' San Fernando Valley, another young woman strives to lead her community towards a better quality of life. At 28, former mayor of the city of San Fernando, Cindy Montañez, was the youngest woman ever to win an assembly seat in the California legislature. Among her many achievements, Assemblymember Montañez is the youngest woman and only Latina ever appointed chairperson of the powerful California Legislative Rules Committee.
I love Mexican sweet bread. That's the one thing I love about Pacoima, is that you can get it every day at any time of the day. So we'd always come here after church, and my mom would get like 20 different pan de dulce.
Like Giovanna, Cindy Montañez finds strength from her community and immigrant parents. Cindy's father, Manuel Montañez, held 3 jobs at once while going to school at night, eventually starting his own electrical business. Cindy remembers when her family earned extra dollars selling produce on the street.
When we were selling our tomatoes and oranges and watermelons on the street corners, we saw it as fun. We'd meet a lot of people, and when people got out of church, you'd run into them, and friends of the family would come by and buy the box of tomatoes from us.
Through her family's heroic efforts, Cindy and her 4 brothers and sisters all went to college.
I've lived my whole life in the northeast part of the San Fernando Valley, in communities like Sun Valley and Pacoima and San Fernando, communities that have historically been disproportionately impacted by landfills and other polluting industries, a lack of open space, a lack of recreational space, but also been filled with the greatest people and people determined to make life better for themselves and their neighbors.
Today, Cindy remains dedicated to improving life for her constituents by eradicating urban blight and creating or improving open spaces.
Sun Valley, it's ironic that it's called Sun Valley. You would imagine a beautiful place with a lot of suns and hills and trees. It's an area that historically at one time had 14 operating landfills, animal cremators, incinerators, you have rock quarries, you have auto dismantlers, chrome platers. We are right across the street from one of the biggest landfills in my district, going down what is a lot of just auto dismantlers, auto wrecking places, and literally sandwiched in between you'll have the mobile parks and people living right next to these places. A lot of them are, they're not legal. They're taking apart cars, a lot of oil's being put into the ground. You have just innocent people being exposed to these toxics and chemicals.
Landmark legislation by Cindy Montañez includes the California Land Reuse and Revitalization Act of 2004, a measure designed to mitigate the environmental, social, and economic effects on often urban low-income neighborhoods created by contaminated and abandoned industrial sites.
Future of environmentalism in the United States, I think the core of that future is in communities that have suffered a lot of environmental injustice, because we see communities of color, poor communities, prioritizing the environment as one of the main issues that they want to focus on, because they are tired of losing their kids to premature deaths, miscarriages, skin cancer, asthma, And it is those public health reasons that are motivating people and driving people to make sure that it is the public health that is at the center of the environmental movement.
The Hanson Dam, created as a means of flood control for the San Fernando Valley, is another focal point of Cindy's campaign to improve life for her constituents.
The Army Corps of Engineers, our own federal government was throwing concrete in the lake and burying different materials in there, which now got to the point where the water got contaminated. But there are now efforts that, with U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, with the Pacoima Beautiful, the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy, to go in there and actually clean up the site, create a campsite where kids could actually come here in Pacoima, like in their own neighborhood, and be able to experience the outdoors.
I remember growing up in that area, and we didn't have the beautiful parks, and we didn't have the beautiful trees, and we didn't have the beautiful coastline, but we did have beautiful people. And now it's the time that we're going to create those parks. We're going to create those recreational fields. We're going to be able to ride our horses or walk with our family and ultimately make home a better place and a place where we want to stay. That's what's going to turn the environmental movement throughout the United States again into an energized and rejuvenated effort that will continue to create bridges and bring people from the wealthy, beautiful coastline that we have here in the state of California to those poor communities like Sun Valley for something that impacts everybody, and that's the environment, and particularly the urban environment.
And I think with this new generation of leadership that we're seeing in this city, particularly Mexican-American leadership, there's going to be a stronger focus on those ideas and implementation measures that bring people back together instead of encouraging them to go apart.
I was born and raised here in Los Angeles. My grandpa got here 100 years ago. I grew up in a home of domestic violence and alcoholism. My mother was a single mom, raised 4 kids on her own, put them all through college. We were poor, but really didn't realize it completely. We had such a rich family life. Never in my wildest imagination did I believe I'd one day become mayor of the city that's given me so much, so it's just a dream come true.
The city's first Hispanic mayor since 1872, Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa's first official act was to join Andy Lipkis to plant a tree.
Talk and then dig? I think it's dig and then talk. We've said we're going to plant a million new trees in my administration. When you plant trees in that way, you create more opportunities for shade, lower the cost of electricity and air conditioning. You create more opportunities for stormwater runoff that's cost effective. So this isn't just pie in the sky stuff. This stuff works. Today we name this tree Sueño, dream. Reach for the stars and follow your dreams, because without hope, without dreams, what are we? That's what creates positive change for the future. That's what gives us the sense of the possible. It's so important to make a better world. But I'm particularly proud of this great experiment that we describe as the changing face of Los Angeles. This is a city of the possible, a city where it's working. It's the most diverse city anywhere, and it doesn't always work exactly like we'd like it, but more often than not, it's working on a way that I think others can learn from.
Can the hope and future of a city begin with such a simple act as the planting of a tree? I believe it not only can, but is. Hey, I live in Los Angeles, the home of the happy ending. You know, this city grew enormous, fueled by the energy of the millions who came and continue to arrive, seeking to remake themselves by living their dreams. Yes, we have made some huge mistakes that are very hard to repair, but if anyone can accomplish the impossible, it's us. So stay tuned. Anything can happen.
It's like another perfect day. I love LA. We love it.
To learn more about your sustainable environment and how to bring your community together, visit us at pbs.org.
Look at those trees. Look Look at that bum over there, man. He's down on his knees. Look at these women. Ain't nothing like them nowhere. We love LA. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it. I love LA. We love it.
Organic avocados, darling.
Major funding for Eden's Lost and Found was made possible by CDM, seeking to create lasting environmental and infrastructure solutions that strengthen a community's future. The Boeing Company, committed to ongoing innovation in environmental conservation. Boeing, forever new frontiers. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. Additional funding was provided by Rivers and Mountains Conservancy, the Illinois Sustainable Education Project, Ashoka, the Scotts Miracle-Gro Company, APTA, Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, the Philadelphia Water Department, LA County Public Works, LA City Department of Sanitation Watershed Management, FJC, and Newman's Own Organics.